Hi everyone, Lee Magpie here, and today we've got something Jurassic World related, and this is the Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous Dino Escapes Raw Attack Allosaurus. This looks absolutely awesome, and this is the third version, different version of this figure, of this species, what Mattel's come out with. We got the first version, which was from the Fallen Kingdom, which came out in 2018. A lot of people didn't like it and complained about the sculpt. Then we got the second version, which is the Battle at Big Rock, which is the version I'm going to do a comparison with, considering I don't have the first one anymore. I sold that one. And yes, this one's the new one. Dino Escapes and Raw Attack is to do with the new feature of the 3-stage sound effects. So we'll check out that as well. I know a lot of people don't really like the buttons as much, but when they're on the back I don't really mind, but if they're on the side they're a bit more of an eyesore. But we'll check all that out when I get it out of the packaging. The packaging overall is really cool. Not much has changed from the Dino Escapes packaging. Some of the packaging has blue on it, some of the packaging has the characters from Camp Cretaceous, and it just shows here that it's 3 stages of different raw sounds, and that it articulates its mouth in 3 different ways, which I'll check that out as well. And you've got some really cool sunset in the background with some pteranodons, broken down fence, nothing real different. And yeah, it still looks really cool. And then on the back of the packaging, it just shows you that it's compatible with the Jurassic World Facts app. So I always show the scan code during the review. And this looks like a really cool picture of the figure in action there. And this is 2 of the other available figures as well. I haven't got the Bionics, but I will be getting it, but I don't know if I'll do a review on it. This one I've literally just done a review on, so check that out on my channel. It is such a cool figure, and it's a new species, a new sculpt what Mattel's come out with. Obviously not a new species, but it's a new species what Mattel's come out with and produced for us all to enjoy. And yeah, there isn't much more I can say. So yeah, it retailed for £20, so that's the price. That's the original price, and hopefully these will be out in Smith's soon. I am still a little bit ill as well, so if I sound a bit nasally, I'm sorry. And yeah, just looks really cool. It's obviously for 4 and plus, and hopefully they'll be out properly in the UK, in other retail places, but at the moment I've only seen it on Amazon. So go get your hands on this cool figure if you like the look of it. And now I'm going to get the Allosaurus out of the packaging. So everyone, I've got the Allosaurus out of the packaging, and my overall thoughts on it is it looks absolutely so cool and amazing. I think the sculpt on it looks so in depth and detailed, and the coloured scheme looks very unusual compared to other paint schemes we've had in the past. This one is also green as well. I've noticed that Mattel's going through a green stage. On my last video, I did a comparison with a few of the other green figures we've recently had on what's come out over the last, well, few months. So it's very random that Mattel's going through like a green stage, but I'm not mad at it because I really love this type of green. It's like a stern green with a hint of grey, and then we've got scatters of white, and then we've got some red scatters as well. It looks really cool. It's very unusual, and yeah, I like how the arms are a totally different colour to the body. When I first saw this in person on Instagram, I saw leaked photos of it, and the arms looked a little bit more bluish colour, but now this is the final product. It's white, but I think it's unusual for them to add green legs and then white random arms, and I didn't know how to feel about it. I still don't fully know how to feel about it, but I do think it's very unusual and very cool that they've done this. And I'm not mad at it at all. I think it looks quite unusual. And yes, the face sculpt up close looks really nicely done. It's got this really nice red eye and lots of indivots and details around the eye area. It didn't say, and it's got some nice texturing and nice sculpt detailing. I'm sorry if I sound a little bit nasally. Sculpt detailing and just little ridge detailing, and these little bits of scatters of white around the face just adds to that little bit of depth. And then we've got some creasing in like indivots around the head. And this is the sculpt of the head at the top, and as you can see, the pattern is not like a mirror image like usually they do, like a butterfly effect, but this time they've actually done it where it looks like a different scatter of red, and like the scatters of white are a little bit different. They're not exactly the same, which I think is really unusual that they've done that on this figure. So yeah, it's very unusual. I also think that the red kind of looks like blood splattered across its head. Like it's, I don't know, it reminds me a little bit of Jurassic Park 3, where the Spinosaurus runs past the plane and blood splatters across the window screen. I think it kind of reminds me of that. But obviously that's meant to be just the red of its skin tone. So yeah, I think it's really cool how they've added that pop of red against this white, and then we've got this really nice like stony grey green colour. It's coming off a bit more green on camera, and yeah, just looks really cool. I think the sculpt is very detailed, looks very menacing, and I think it is very unusual that they've added these random white arms, but I think it just goes really well but doesn't at the same time, which is really strange. You actually have to assemble the tail itself. One little thing I do wish that they did is added this white a little bit more down the back of down its back, but still I'm not mad at it. It's got some really nice rib definitions on the side and some like crease detailing, what like kind of look like scar detailing, and the same goes for on the arms. The claws aren't painted, but it kind of looks cool like that they're not painted like it's got white claws. But if I was to add a colour, I think it would have been nice if they added this green on the end of the claws there. And then underneath the chin, it's just got this like nice shading what matches the chin area of the jaw. As you can see, it's got some nice texturing as well. But yeah, like it goes into like a dark cream, like grey colour, and then it fades into like a, I don't know, it's like a little bit of an ombre effect underneath the chin there. And yeah, looks really nicely done. And then it's just got some nice details in the legs here, some nice texturing. It's got like a sheen to it on the skin, as you can see there. Some bits of it's in matte, as you can see these bits are in matte, and then it's got like this nice sheen to it. When you move, when the light hits, it looks really nice. And just these crease details look really cool as well, kind of looks like scars. And the same goes for the tail. It's got that nice sheen to it, and these scar crease details. Now I don't know if they are scars, but they do look kind of like scars, like it's been through a battle. Or if it's just extra creases just to do with the skin tone. And then it's got a few more little spikes on the back going down the tail, which are nicely sculpted. And then the spikes on the top of its head are a totally different plastic. They're like the plastic on the arms. These are like a bone colour at the top. You can see little bits of plastic's not fully being took off properly yet. But yeah, it looks really, really cool. And then the button at the top, they have blended the button to go with the paint scheme. So when you move the button, it'll probably show green on this side and then white on that side. And yeah, it is a little bit of an eyesore when you put it like that. But once you stand it up properly, it's not too bad. But at least they've still done that sculpting to match the rest of the body. So it's however you want to make it. It doesn't really fuss me that much, but I can see why people would be kind of annoyed at it. And then this side of the face is pretty much the same, but the scatterings of white just is a tiny little bit different. But I really like that pop of red for the eye. It really matches the red what goes around the neck area. And yeah, overall just looks really cool. Like I said, you have to assemble the tail yourself. It's the first time they've done an articulated tail with this sculpt. So as you can see, it can move the tail that far up, that far down, side to side, and you can rotate it however you want. So it's got some really nice posability. The tail is a similar shape to the Battle at Big Rock, which I'll do a comparison with in a minute. And yeah, then the arms articulate however you want as well. So they're on a swivel joint, so you can move them like that all the way around. Pretty much what we've seen all throughout the other figures. You can move the thighs in and out as well. There's no swivel or rotation in the legs, and the feet are not painted. Like I said in my other videos, sometimes that would bother me and sometimes it doesn't, and this time it doesn't bother me because it's like a dark colour, so it really goes really well. If the rest of the body was in like a white colour, then it would bother me, but it doesn't for this particular figure. And then you can move the leg that far forward. Pretty much it can go all the way around. And it can move back. And it moves real smooth as well. And it stands really good as well. I feel like the other Allosaurus was quite hard to stand. But I'm tapping that and it didn't seem to want to move anywhere. So that's really good, because sometimes these figures can sometimes dip down and fall over when they're just standing there on your shelf. I think this would look really cool for photography as well. And it's definitely got good play purposes. Now we're going to hear what it sounds like, and I'll show you the 3 levels of the button. So, but you can open and close the jaw, but you can't articulate it that way. You have to articulate it this way. By pushing the button up. That sounds really cool. It gets louder every time. That sounds so cool. That sounds real loud and clear as well. It sounds really cool. And what's really clever about this feature, this 3 button feature, is you can actually articulate the jaw however you want, and you get sound effects at the same time, and you get an action feature. So I think it's really clever how Mattel's made it so you can have it 3 different ways. So you don't have to put out in its mouth to wedge it to stay open for photo reasons. You can, and you don't have to articulate it however you want. The button will do that all for you, and it stays in place. So that's really cool that they've done that. So you get your 3 in 1 basically of the things we love about these figures. And like I said about the button, when you move the button, you will see that when you push it this way, it will match the white bit, and it'll show the green, and it'll match the green bit. So, and then when you pull it back, it will show the white bit of where it matches here. So I think that's also clever. So the button is a little bit off, but really cool at the same time that they've done that. And they've done it so you can actually enjoy the sounds, articulation, and an action feature all in one. So it's really clever how they've done that and marketed that to be like that. So now I'm going to do a comparison with the Battle at Big Rock figure. And at first I didn't really like this one as much. I really don't like the cream colour with the blue, but it still looks really cool. And as you can see, you can already see that this one's got more of a elongated neck, which is a bit more lower to the floor. And this one's got, its neck goes a little bit higher. So when you put them side by side like that, you can see that this one stands taller in its neck area. But this one dips down, as you can see on the camera. It doesn't like to really stand, which is a bit upsetting. And this one has a blue tongue, which is very random because they've never really done that before. But it has a jumping action and an arm swiping action. And it still looks really cool, and the sculpt is very nice. But also look at both of the faces up close. They look quite similar in sculpt, but I think that this one has a little bit more in depth, and they have definitely changed it. The inside of the mouth is more natural coloured, and the teeth look really nicely sculpted as well. But they are literally two different figures. One sec. I'll just try and stand them a bit better so you can see them a bit better. And yeah, they look really cool. Two totally different coloured schemes. This one I definitely love. I love the fact that you get an action feature, sound effects, and really good articulation, and you get to articulate the jaw as well. This one, you can only have the jaw open and use the action feature, and it doesn't stand very well. It always dips and falls. Sorry about that. And yeah, this one's got this one did rotate its tail, but I think I glued it. I'm not entirely sure, I can't remember. And yeah, you can see that this one's got elongated neck, and the next thingy higher on this one. The sculpt on the body is, I don't know, some bits of it looks the same, some bits of it doesn't. It's got the scarring on the legs. So maybe they have used certain bits the same and certain bits of it's not. Obviously, they've got a different sculpt on the head. They maybe used odd little bits to match it up. But both of them really cool figures, but I really love the new one, and the new one wins for me because it can actually stand a bit better. And I love the coloured scheme better on this one, and I like how you get three things more to do on this figure than you do on this one, and you get to articulate the tail on this one as well, and you can't really articulate the tail on this one other than a swivel joint, which I've just realised I glued it there because it seemed to, when I kept it in one place, it seemed to stay a little bit better standing, so that's why I glued it. But yeah, still really cool. I think they'd still look really good in photography. And yeah. there isn't really much more I can say. I'm going to show you the scan code now. So here is the scan code there. So pause away and scan away and add it to your Jurassic World Facts app. There's the Jurassic World symbol there. And if I had to give this figure a scale to 1 to 10, I'd give its paint scheme a 9. I wish it was just a little bit more spread across the body. Articulation is the same. I give it a 10. I give the action feature, the sound effects, and the articulation on the jaw, I give that a 10 out of 10. The button, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. But it doesn't really bother me that much. I know some people would be bothered by it. And yeah, still 2 amazing figures, and Mattel's always updating and making these figures a bit better. And can't wait to see what else Mattel comes out with. They've got loads of new toys coming up soon. And I've got some more new Jurassic World stuff coming up soon. So follow me on my Instagram, which is Liam_Magpie. I always do updates on what reviews are coming up. I always do really cool photography. And I do other toy stuff on my Instagram. So follow me on there if you love Jurassic World content and just some cool toy content in general. You can get this from Amazon for £20, the original price it should be. And it should be out in other retail places soon from the UK. So, yeah, please like and subscribe to my channel. Hit that alarm bell for more toy related stuff. And I will see you all on the next one. Bye, guys.